Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamerspro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Let's talk about it. So, as y'all know, there was a lot of hype coming into this season about, we're going to see LeBron James, and Bronny James. They're going to do their thing. They're going to make history. You had people twerking it up all over the comment section, pouring honey all over the table, just basically losing their damn minds. Everybody was excited for opening night because we were going to see LeBron James and Bronny James do their thing, and they did. Well, not really. You know, they basically shared the court together. LeBron tried to get Bronny to do his thing. That obviously didn't materialize into anything, but we saw that moment. And then there have been times when Bronny's made appearances here and there. And then as recent as maybe 2 days ago, he made his G League debut. And of course, you had members of the Lakers there to support him, like his father, Anthony Davis. You had the coach of the Lakers as well. JJ Redick, of course, his mother was there, and Bronny didn't have a particularly strong outing as well. Scored 6 points with 5 turnovers. Just yesterday, I was listening to Gilbert Arenas talking about Bronny's number one issue, apart from others, is that he's not aggressive. He's always looking to pass, and that's not really going to be beneficial to him given this stage of his career where players are trying to establish themselves. You want to show a lot of aggression. They spoke about that. But nevertheless, you've had people all over the internet twerking it up all day long. They have been on, it's like it is rampant. Rampant. You walking through the hallway, you look through the door, you see twerkation taking place. Twerking all over the place. One's all in the air. Can't even help it. The walls are sticky. Honey all over the walls. These dudes are just losing their mind. Why? Because, LeBron playing with Bronny, they made history together. The first father and son duo. We're like, yo, son, this dude is not really good. No, you a hater, man. You're gonna have to give it time. You're gonna have to give it time. He's gonna develop into Drew Holiday. All type of useless, you know what. So what happened? About, let me get it right. About 3 days ago. A post surfaced on Bleacher Report. Focus that was centered on NBA legend, 6-time NBA champion, former Chicago Bull Scottie Pippen, and his son, Scottie Pippen Jr., making actual real father and son history that sent LeBron James and Bronny fans into a frenzy. So let me show y'all the post. Get ready to laugh. It says, first father and son duo to record a triple-double in NBA history. Let's get to the comments, please, because that is the reason why we're all here. Of course, his mom commented. And then, here it goes. Bronny and Bron still hold the most point duo ever. I don't even know what that means. Let's continue on. Still think it's weird that it's Scottie and Scottie Jr. Another one. Lakers really suck at holding on to the right players. One person says, somehow the comment section will be full of people talking about LeBron. Another person said, given Bronny versus earned Scottie. Another one. Bronny would have 5 by now, but he's been holding back his true power. Another person said, why do y'all have to bring Bronny and Bron up? This don't have nothing to do with them. Somebody else said, LeBron punching the air right now. Another one said, let's make this have the same attention as Bron and his seed. It continues on. He earned it. Didn't have to use his daddy's name to ball. Another person says, Scottie is what LeBron wish he had. Another person said, LeBron just sent Bronny to his room. Another person trolling said, imagine if the Lakers had him. And let's read one more. LeBron and Bronny punching air right now. And then one last two people said, LeBron mad as hell. Now LeBron going to try to do it with Bronny in the same game. LeBron taking this personal, and it just went on and it went on, and the beat goes on and on and on and on and on. Oh my God. So what are my thoughts on this? There's a few. Oh my Lord. How did these people do this? Anyway, I have a few thoughts about this. Let's get to the first one. First of all, this is hilarious. Oh my God. You know, LeBron fans is tight. All right, so let's get into this. First of all, why is this story funny? Okay, it's funny because, I mean, it's happening to LeBron. So that's funny. That's funny enough in itself. The second reason it's funny is because of how hard the media has tried to promote this LeBron and Bronny. I told you, we did a show the other day, and these jokers had the nerve to put up the highest points scored by a father and son duo. LeBron got 40,000 and something points, and they just added Bronny's 2 points to be like, oh, you see, they've outscored Kobe and his dad, Stephen Curry. And I'm like, yo, you gotta be joking right now. We're talking about actual NBA players, and then you got this. LeBron is a real NBA player, excuse me, and then you got Bronny. So you got that aspect of it. You got the second aspect of it. Scottie Pippen Jr. used to be a Laker. Scottie Pippen Jr. used to be a Laker player, and they let him go. And now I think he plays with the Grizzlies. He's over there balling with the Grizzlies, I believe, coming off the bench. And he's making real history, getting triple doubles and all. Do you know what the media reception would have been had it been Bronny James got a triple double? You would have thought it was a second coming of Christ. They would have plastered that thing all over the world. They would have told you, oh, this is the greatest sports story in the history of the world, because they want it to be so bad. So bad. And when we get real actual NBA history, they don't say nothing about it. Bleacher Report did it, but they're not going to talk about it on all the other big networks or nothing like that. Hell no. Hell no. Because it doesn't feed into the narrative. It doesn't feed into the narrative. This whole Bronny and LeBron experiment is not really going the way I think they hoped it would. Again, I've asked a question on the other show. I'm not really sure why all of this is even happening in the first place. Bronny doesn't seem to be that good based on what we're seeing. So I don't know what it's all for. But this is real NBA history. And you heard the LeBron fans in the comment section and people trolling them. It's hilarious. And I think that post has generated damn near 300,000 likes and thousands and thousands and thousands of comments. So it's hilarious. And I just thought this would be a hilarious show. As y'all know, there's been this conversation around the decline in NBA viewership. It's something that a lot of people are talking about. Just yesterday, we produced a show on some comments that Brian Windhorst had to make, in terms of the coverage of the NBA and how it's bad. And you know, you've heard various personalities and people out there analyzing why the game is on the decline. We talked about the product itself, what it's like to watch the game, how it's not very enjoyable. For whatever reason, Adam Silver seems to believe otherwise. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But the game is just not fun. And then I also talked about the fact that there seems to be this disconnect between the stars and the fans. You get this sense that these current crop of NBA players simply don't give a damn about the fans. And I said that the NBA is the only professional league that I know that constantly tells their fans that we don't give a damn about you. With the load management and all of that, and the effort that the star players put forward in the All-Star weekend year after year, they just say we don't care. We even produced a show where former President Barack Obama went on The Young Man and the Three, the former podcast with JJ Redick, when he told him, like, your product is unwatchable. If you guys don't take the All-Star game seriously, we're not watching. He said, I'm not watching that junk anymore. Tyrese Halliburton is there laughing and smiling. I don't know what that's about. But I saw something today that shocked me, and I'm gonna give props where it's due. I saw it on Sports and Fitness Rants. I saw it on his channel, and he was reacting to a series of Kevin Durant tweets, and he's going off about Kevin Durant doesn't care about NBA fans. Kevin Durant doesn't care about NBA. I'm like, yo, what the hell happened? So I put myself on the unfortunate path of going to Twitter, a place I spend almost zero amount of my time on, to find Kevin Durant's tweets and basically unearth it out of the piles of madness that exists on Twitter, trying to figure it all out. I mean, I just hate Twitter, like going on it and trying to, I couldn't stand it. So I went on there trying to find his tweets. And folks, what I found and what Kevin Durant was saying will absolutely floor you. Okay, so let's start where we can start, because this thing is quite confusing to me. I'm not, as I said, I'm not a fan of this platform whatsoever, and it's quite confusing. So let's start where I can most easily understand things, right? So I went to Kevin Durant's page to figure out what the hell was exactly going on. So I went to his homepage, okay? And there's a part where you go to tweets and then replies, right? So I went to that section where it says replies. And there's a video of LeBron James, I guess, speaking about helping a fan's parlay. So then I scrolled under that post, right? And it says from the account, oh no, he didn't. Then I scroll under and I saw someone write, it looks like a Boston Celtics fan or something. It says, that's dope, cause KD ain't for fans like that. Most of these overpaid a-holes don't care about any of the fans who buy shoes, jerseys, and low-key support them. Fantastic. Now, under that, KD then said, I'ma keep it 1,000. I don't F with y'all like that. Then I read a little bit further and it said, bro, you aren't tough. You got no game off the court and you would be ringless if you didn't join the Warriors. I'ma throw your Christmas KDs in the lake near me later, you slender man looking ass, you know what. Then it said, I can care less what you do with them. You spent your money already. Thanks. LOL. And then another person said, why should fans buy your bleep if you don't F with them like that? You just gave them the middle finger. Then KD responds, don't buy it, brother. It's that simple. And then I want to go to another post that KD put on his page, because this is the first time I'm ever going to Kevin Durant's Twitter account. And he put up another post. This is on his homepage itself. And you guys can actually go check it out. And I saw this and I'm like, bro, what is going on here? And he wrote this on October the 14th. He said, sometimes I wake up and look at NBA Central comments just to truly see how many dummies come online thinking they have high IQ. Good morning. So those are the tweets. Those are the comments. And people just kept on responding and responding and responding and responding and responding. What are my thoughts on all of this? Folks, here's the harsh reality. And I want to burst some fans' bubbles. The vast majority of these people don't give a damn about you. They don't. I know that may be harsh, but they don't. They do not. You've seen videos like the video of LeBron that went viral this summer, of LeBron telling that kid, stop, 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 stop. Like, basically, don't touch me or whatever he tried to do. I don't know what the kid did. You had people retaliate and send pictures of, like, I think Jordan in New York coming out of his car. There's like a barricade. And Jordan walks by, and I guess their fans, some kids asked him, Jordan, sell my shoes, whatever. And then Jordan keeps going. As a matter of fact, the only person I've seen stop to always acknowledge children is Kobe. Always. I remember there was a video, and I just couldn't find it. Kobe looked like he was coming from some party. It was like a shirt and tie kind of party. And he was walking. It was at night, and they go, he was like, Kobe was walking, and people calling his name. And then they go, Kobe, Kobe. And then Kobe looks back. He's like, are there kids over there? And then Kobe turns around and walks up to the kids and starts signing because he had this thing for where he liked kids. The point I'm making is the vast majority of these guys, they don't care about you. They don't. I'm sorry to burst some of y'all bubble. They don't care about the way you care about them. They don't care about you. It's that simple. And it's just a reality. You buying their shoes and telling them that they're great don't mean that they're going to like you. Don't mean that. Kawhi, who's was one of my favorite players, I could see Kawhi Leonard walking down the street today. If I'm not a celebrity and I'm not a known person, if I walk up to Kawhi and try to get a handshake, he might just be like, nah, I'm good. I've seen him do it to somebody in a food store, restaurant, or whatever it is. He's like, can I take a picture? He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. It's going to happen. And a lot of people are going to get their feelings hurt by all of this, but it's the truth. Now, what does it say in terms of a messaging to the fans? I don't know what it says. It's up to the fans that are really bought into the players to understand how this all, like, to reconcile however they feel about it. Maybe it's because I'm an adult and I feel a little bit different about it, you know, but it's the reality. And they are also aware that no matter how much they shun some fans, they're still going to show up for them, as they always do. They're fans. You know, they're fans. You go to concerts, you know, musicians do it to their fans all the time. They curse them out, spit on them. If a show's supposed to start at 10 o'clock, they'll show up at 1 o'clock, and you still stand there. You'll still stand there and wait because you're a fan. You're a fan. So it's just the reality of the world. It's the reality of the world. But KD's comments gives you an insight into how these players feel about fans today. And in all of these NBA shows, you never, ever hear them really talk about the fans. None of them. They really never talk. The only people you hear talking about fans is like Rob Parker, a few other voices. The vast majority don't even talk about fans. Even in these NBA podcasts with NBA guys, they don't ever mention fans at all. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's the reality of life. Just 2 years ago, or just a season and a half ago, or season ago, people were out there saying that they felt like the Milwaukee Bucks were going to win the NBA championship. Why did they feel that way? Well, you were looking at a perennial playoff team, although they've been bounced out of the playoffs a few times. You're looking at a team that had won the championship about 2 years prior. And then you're looking at a team that had added, Damian Lillard, who is a 25-plus point per game scorer, one of the greatest distance shooters the NBA has ever seen, and a player that we felt like wasn't getting his proper shine and wasn't given the best opportunity to excel to get to a championship given the team and the market that he played in, because maybe in Portland, maybe some stars would be reluctant to go there. So they paired him with Giannis. And there were people out there that felt, man, this team could win a championship. But last year, things didn't go the way that they wanted them to. And they ended up losing in the first round. Giannis got injured, but there were also some issues that were plaguing the team. One of them was apparently at the coaching position, because out of nowhere, the team elected to fire their then head coach, Adrian Griffin, who, by the way, had a winning record with the ball club. They fired him and replaced him for a coach that sent the entire NBA community into just basically total laughter when we heard Doc Rivers were getting a job. I actually put up a post on my Instagram laughing at it, like, you can't make this up. I was like, Doc Rivers must have the best agent in all of basketball. You just can't make it up. So they signed Doc Rivers. That didn't work out. Then we get to the beginning of this season, and we're looking at training camp. And then we start hearing things from Giannis when he says, man, if we don't figure it out this year, I may get traded. And we're like, what is that about? Then you start hearing word of Giannis and Dame didn't have an offseason together where they worked out. You're like, what's that about? Then we got news that Chris Middleton was going to be out for pretty substantial amount of time. We're like, where's all of this going? And then the season starts. And folks, as we sit here on November 12th, the Milwaukee Bucks are sitting in the bottom, basically, of the Eastern Conference with a 2-8 record, riding a 2-game losing streak. I think the last loss they had was to the Boston Celtics, where Giannis decided that it was time to be the joker of the game and try to get Jaylen Brown to give him a high five. Then he pulled away, and Giannis thought that was a beautiful moment. I thought the whole thing was just absolutely ridiculous, given how your team is performing. So what happened this morning? I was going through the internet, and I came across a pretty interesting soundbite from Bill Simmons from The Ringer, who actually said that he believes that Giannis will be traded. And then what really surprised me was the landing destinations he proposed. So what we want to do is we're going to play what Bill Simmons had to say here, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
I think the Giannis trade stuff is really going to start. People making up fake trades. And the Nets are like pretty good. I think they can just go all in for Giannis. They have just a shitload of picks. They have Cam Thomas, who I was really impressed by, who's a very good scorer. Cam Johnson. They have Nick Claxton. They have Schroeder's playing really well. I like them. I actually think they're a playing team at least. Because people are going to ask this week, who's the team that makes sense for Giannis? They're going to be like, what about Miami? What about... I actually think it's Brooklyn. They can just overwhelm Milwaukee with all these picks. Like they just can say, hey, Milwaukee, here's Ben Simmons' expiring contract, and here are all these picks. Just take all of them. Take as many as you want. Give us Giannis and put Giannis in Brooklyn. I think it makes sense because I think Milwaukee needs to get out of this. And to me, it's either Brooklyn or Houston because Houston's the other team they have picks and young players. It's just like if I'm Giannis, would I rather go to Brooklyn or Houston? I don't know.
So you heard what Bill Simmons had to say. What are my thoughts on what he had to say? Well, let's look at the Brooklyn Nets. And by the way, I heard there was some news about Ben Simmons yesterday, who had 10 assists in 12 minutes. If we look at the Brooklyn Nets right now, they're currently the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference, but the Eastern Conference is historically trash. So they're the 5th seed with a 5-6 record in the East. So, but nevertheless, they're still in the playoff picture. Let's look at the Brooklyn Nets roster right now. Who do they have? They have Cam Thomas, who's a promising young star. We have Dennis Schroeder, who's an established scoring point guard in the NBA. We have Cameron Johnson, Zaire Williams, Jalen Wilson, Nick Claxton, who's a good piece that I'm sure they like, Keon Johnson, Noah Clowney, of course, Ben Simmons, the man himself, Uncle Ben, Shake Milton, Tyrese Martin, Derek Whitehead, Trendon Watford, and Bojan Bogdanovic, and they have a few other players there. Now, if you listen to what he said that they could offer them a bunch of picks and basically a bunch of players to send them over to Milwaukee. But the question then becomes, there are two questions. One, is Milwaukee ready to go into a rebuilding phase? Because if you trade away Giannis Antetokounmpo, essentially you have basically conceded that you're ready to go into a rebuild phase. And if that's the case, if you're going to trade away Giannis, then you might as well trade away Damian Lillard and start the whole thing anew. Just totally reboot the organization. So you have to look at it from that aspect. And now let's look at it from the aspect of Giannis Antetokounmpo. What would Giannis gain by going to the Brooklyn Nets? Well, number one, obviously, change of scenery, playing in a bigger market. But does it enhance his chances of winning a championship? And I think the answer is a resounding hell no. Not a no, a hell no. Because even if Giannis Antetokounmpo joins the Brooklyn Nets, I still don't think they're going to be ahead of any of the other teams at the top of the East right now. The Cavaliers are basically making NBA history right now on their 12-game winning streak to start the season. You have the Boston Celtics, who are number 2 in the Eastern Conference, and I will still put the Philadelphia 76ers, if they're healthy, when they get back Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid and Paul George, and these guys are playing well together with Kelly Oubre. I will still put them there. So the Bucks would probably be a middle of the pack team. Excuse me. Giannis, the Brooklyn Nets, would probably be a middle of the pack NBA team anyway. Now, there are some other sleeper moves that can be made, but I think if those moves ever get made, it would be blockbuster moves. I've heard some rumors out there. Oh, well, the Lakers are talking to the Bucks. The Lakers ain't talking to the Bucks about nothing. The Lakers are not talking to the Milwaukee Bucks about absolutely nothing, because the Milwaukee Bucks will have nothing to say to the Lakers if they're not talking about giving up Anthony Davis, because they're not going to trade LeBron because LeBron is too old. So if the Lakers aren't serious about trading AD, then there's nothing to talk about. So the Lakers are not talking to the Milwaukee Bucks, and Giannis is not going to go to the Lakers for cap space reasons, for chemistry. It just won't work. So that's out of the question. Just Bad fit, no fit. Let's move on to the next story. Let's look at the another team we've heard. The Golden State Warriors. Could that work? Yeah, it could potentially work. It's not necessarily what the the Golden State Warriors like to do, because throughout their dynasty run, I haven't seen them play with a dominant big man like from a consistent basis. Obviously, they had DeMarcus Cousins, but he wasn't the DeMarcus Cousins we all knew. And Giannis has a totally different game. The Golden State Warriors are based off of ball movement, efficiency, being able to hit shots and all of that. So I'm not sure how he would work in that system there. We've also heard other suitors like the Miami Heat. We've heard that as well. Other potential destinations he can go to. Just off of the time, it all depends if Giannis wants to win. If he wants to win, then the Lister teams are not, they're a bit limited. But you also have to look at it from both standpoints. What team would take whatever assets that team has to offer, and is that a destination that Giannis would be willing to go to? So he's presented the Brooklyn Nets as a possible suitor. Yes, if you look at it from, a business standpoint in terms of the picks and the salaries, it could potentially work. He brought up dumping Ben Simmons' salary. That could be attractive, although he's in the final year of his contract. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Nevertheless, the situation in Milwaukee is a bad one.